Hi, everybody. I'm Carol. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Carol.
I brought my little book in case there was something maybe really smart in here I could say because I don't remember all of it by heart, but I got a lot of notes. Anyway, my sobriety date is 1/1/08. So right about this time, 16 years ago, I was actually probably in jail for the umpteenth time when I was all dressed up going to court and I didn't quite make it home that day. So when I actually came to in jail that first January 1st, it took a couple days. And I'm looking and they got the TV going and it's Times Square and Fergie's up there singing. And I thought, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And how did I get here again? Right. So, yeah, my drug story involves a little bit of drugs and mixology of everything. I started drinking probably when I was 15 and, throwing a little bit of pot back in the day. And then it just kind of got worse from there. And to speed things forward, I got married. And on my first marriage, I wanted a divorce that night because I was so drunk. I'm like, wow, this long, beautiful dress, this big, huge, elaborate wedding and stuff. But yeah, he wanted. So anyway, that didn't last very long. I think we were married for maybe about a year when he decided he made up some cockamamie story about about gonna find us a new place to live, the apartment that we were in, blah blah blah. And so I was gonna move in with my parents while I don't remember how the story went, but I was like, oh, he dumped me at my parents and then filed for divorce and had me served. That little bastard. Yeah. Anyway, how dare he? Anyway, I thought, okay, well, whatever. Moving on. And it wasn't very long after that. So I'm in my old parents' house and just down around the corner, here's a guy that, is more like drinking like me, smoking pot like me, partying like me. And man, what a match are we. And so, here goes wedding number 2. And we got married and had 2 kids. And we lasted 7 years. And at the end of that 7 years, I completely remember the note on the thing because I'm the one that filed for divorce because my kids were little. I didn't want to be that drunken mom. I had attempted to do AA, and I'm out in Buckley. And I was doing AA, but I didn't have a sponsor and I wasn't doing steps. So when I say that, that means I really wasn't in it. I was attending meetings, but I really wasn't in the program. Looking back, I can say that now. So, but I was sober, whether I was white knuckling it, I was there. My kids for 2 years pretty much. And I let him convince me. So I didn't have a problem. And we went out that night where I was going to have my just 1 or 2 drinks. But he also liked to pop pills. And so we, I don't know, I might have been on my period. I don't know. Needed something to, for the menstrual pains. So we had a little alcohol. We had a couple Vicodins, whatever it was. I couldn't get on the back of the motorcycle and stay on the motorcycle. But this lovely King County sheriff saw what was going on there, and he was so kind to give me a ride home in his backseat. As we pulled into the driveway, all over the back of his car. Oh my God, was he mad? And these are just little things that happened all along, right? For all the drunkenness and the things that I had done and did. And then it moved on from there because, I didn't get sober from there. I ended up losing my kids to him. And how could I, go from being 2 years sober? I didn't have a program. I was going to AA, but, I gave the kids up to him because I figured they were in better hands with him. Whether he was drinking and doing his little thing, pills and whatever else. I mean, Carol, you're a worthless piece of crap. I hate your effing this, and you and I are definitely done. Hope you're happy what you've done to you and your family. F you. Oh, yeah, I can still remember that, right? And that was we divorced in 1998. But that stuck in my head. So these bad things would happen and I'd feel bad and I'd drink to try to numb the pain, to take away those feelings and emotions. Because all I wanted to be was a good mom and, be the best mom I could for my kids. Well, now I've given them up after Actually, one night I stayed up all night doing whatever I did and went to court that day, and the judge awarded me my kids back. I was better fit than him. I was sitting there. I'm sure you could have smelled the alcohol. I don't know. And then he went back to court to fight again, and that's when I just said, I give, and gave them to him. And I went on a bender to where I was 36 at the time, and my sister had called in me as a missing person, and it's 10 in the morning. I'm drunker than drunk, and the cop found me, and I said, "Well, tell him you found me. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right?" At least and it's sad now that I think about it, because they were probably very worried. But I had better plans in mind of myself. And I would steal things and go to jail. I was face first in the middle of the road in Tacoma with, guns pointed at me for, I guess, taking things that weren't mine. Some lady's house, I don't know. Most of the time I had my clothes on, but there was a couple occasions. Anyway, that's the drunk part of it, right? So I wake up in jail for hopefully the last time, and I come to, and I'm like, oh my God, because I had been court ordered as well. And I'd go to get my slip sign. I find my Whiskey Rose group in Renton because it's only a 1 hour reading. So I live in Renton, and a couple times I probably was drunk or maybe even high going there. I don't know. And just, they don't give you your slip back till the meeting's over. So I kept remembering all this stuff about how it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who's thoroughly followed our path in that honesty thing. I'm like, oh my God. So it was my last time well, not the last time, because that was probably about the 9th time. I was out of options for treatment because I've tried like all these different treatment centers, including the Women's Treatment Center out there in Kirkland, Lakeside, Milam. I'd been to Puget Sound Hospital at Tacoma. These treatment centers were just not working. I learned a little bit about what alcohol or drugs did to your body, so I think, okay, I can do it different this time. I was not giving up. Well, once I had walked in off the street into the Salvation Army that was my little last option. I had nothing. I had a bag and I didn't have clothes. Well, no problem. They took me and they had a bed available at the women's place, but you have to sign a sheet that you get to shop at the Salvation Army, but you also have to work there too. And you get to pick so many outfits for shirts, pants, clothes, blah, blah, blah. Well, the women's underwear was a big deal. They were granny panties. They were huge. I'm like, this box full. I said, seriously? And of course, I've been using and I've been drinking and I've not been eating, and I'm skinny, tiny thing. I'm like, for real? I mean, I would be rolling them things down and everything else. And anyhow, I'm working because I have to work for my stay. So you work at the Salvation Army, and I'm in the warehouse and I'm sorting things. And here they come, brand new Winnie the Pooh bikini underwear with Tigger and Disney characters. What? This was a test, right? I go in the bathroom and I put 6 pair on. And I go back to the house and I take those granny panties and I stuff them in my pants and I go out to the dumpster and throw it in it. Because they do clothing counts, believe it or not. They count to see that I've got 9 pair of underwear and you're not allowed any more than that or something. I don't know what the count was, whether it was 9 or how many you actually get. I would think it would be more than 7, but for a week. Anyhow, I told on myself. Mm-hmm. The Whiskey Rose group and that honesty thing got to me because I was like, ugh. But you know what? I was really proud of myself. And I think if I tell this house manager, she's going to forgive me. It's all going to be okay. And I'm going to end up with a little bikini still. And they're going to be, oh no. Out I go after the weekend of working me all weekend long because we're going to have a meeting with the board members about this. Well, they did. After they worked, the board members said, no, she's got to go. Even if I was honest and told on myself, I stole the underwears. I pilfered underwear at Salvation Army. Wow, did I say that's the truth, by the way? Anyhow, I told the lady, and I really did at that time, I said, I think somebody else might need this bed more than I do. And that's because of what I learned from the Whiskey Rose group and this big book and about being honest. And so I go to the payphone to call my mom, come and get me. I'm like 40 some years old. And as I'm standing there, there's a dude with a great big crack pipe smoker. And I'm like, really? Oh my God. It's more testing of this, right? But I turned around and walked the other day. I hung up the phone. I had to walk down the street and just kind of let it go. I don't know how I got through that because, you know, the old me would have said, just give me that. Let me bury some feelings here because I'm feeling like a piece of crap. I don't know how to deal with life. I didn't know how to deal with life, right? Alcohol was where I had arrived and I had felt good about myself since I was 15. It made me a better, whatever you wanted me to be, whatever you wanted me to be. And I was a chameleon, able to adapt to, you know, I want everybody to like me. Come to find out, that's not going to happen. No matter how hard I try. Well, I have a dog. anyhow, that's another story. He's a good dog. I did get a dog in the beginning. They said get a plant, right? Get a plant. I got a little puppy. I had that dog for the first 12 years of my sobriety, and that was some pain. That was some grief to go through, losing that dog. You know, he's like family. And I'm sure maybe somebody's lost pets, but that's just like a family member, losing a family member and trying to experience what that kind of grief was going through there. Where am I? I'm out of jail. I'm going out of jail because they left me there 10 days. And they decided, for some odd reason, this gentleman that has this business is going to give me a second chance. I guess I forgot the relapse part of my story. Let me back up a minute. Before this last stint in jail, I had 11 months, I think, in the program. And, you know, they kept saying, anything you put in front of your sobriety, you will lose. I couldn't quite understand what they were talking about at that. But, you know, my boyfriend at the time was pretty important. My children are now coming back into my life. And that was really important because I never could show up for their birthdays before. So now I'm sober and I'm going to show up for that. You know, I might miss this meeting or I might miss that meeting. And AA kind of started to slide. That was how I put things in front of my sobriety, which I ended up losing because I never did get them back. I ended up back in jail again. But it was one of the first times I had ever, after going through the steps. I was at step 9, by the way, at my 11 months, where, you know, I guess I had to make some amends that I really wasn't prepared for or ready for. And I think possibly that kind of scared me off, which was really dumb because those are the promises. Those are the promises that so many meetings read. And, you know, I'm in this part where it says there is a solution. There is no middle of the road solution. It's that half measures avail us nothing. You either get in it, you get in the middle, get the sponsor, do every step as suggested. To me, it's clear-cut directions. But yeah, I was leery of the God thing myself. I had an ego that I started out with. It has so evolved from that. And I was smoking at the time. I'd smoke cigarettes and I'd drink my coffee and I'd talk to the eagle that I'd see up there almost every morning. I think I'd see it. And then the first time in my life, I was like, I'm going back to jail again. I got thrown in jail a lot of times for failure of child support just because he had the kids. I had to pay child support. And I thought, oh my God, I got to go to court tomorrow. And I got on my knees for my first time. Got literally on my knees and said, hey, if you're up there, here's the deal. I got to go to court tomorrow. Don't have a license because the DUI lost my license. I said, and you know, I can't get a job if I don't have a license. You know, it's this little circle. So I don't know. I don't have a job, and if I don't have a job, they're going to throw me back in jail. So there you go. Help me, you know, if you can. Amen. Amen. And I got up, and literally the next day, this gentleman calls my mother and says, hey, no, this gal quit on me. And he's been a friend of the family, him and my brother, Franklin, and did whatever they did when they were little together, besides Sunday school. Anyway, he said, but, you know, if I hire her and she steals from me, will you pay me back? And I said, No, no. And so, but this is the thing. I mean, I get up in the morning, I walk out my door 4 minutes to my job. I don't need a license. I don't need a car. Coincidence? My first little, wow, maybe there's something to that. Pray, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that every time I pray I'm going to get what I want for sure, but I got that. I got the letter in the mail the couple weeks later that I get to garnish my own paycheck. And I was like, how much? Oh my gosh. But you know what? That's what I did. I paid it all back. Over $14,000 I owed. And I paid every single penny of that back. One day at a time. It was overwhelming in the beginning for me to think, oh my God, I'll never pay this back. Is this what I have left?
Yes.
Okay. And so I did it. And I did it one day at a time. And my boss, by the way, is, I am not supposed to say anything as an alcoholic, but when you have a half a gallon of vodka in the refrigerator at work and you put it in a coffee cup and you drink that every afternoon, I'm pretty sure he might have a problem. And then he got a DUI himself, which he got to come to our meetings. So that was fun. It didn't last long though. He just paid his way out of it. And, he wrote Bob and his name is Rob, and he wrote Ray. That's what it was. And he's calling on Ray to talk. And I turned around and looked at him. I said, yeah, Ray, you want to share? Because he always wanted me to sign his slips. And I said, no, I'll sign your slip if you go to the meeting. So anyway, he finally found somebody at the bar, which is something I probably did before I actually got in the program. I signed my slip. I don't want to go to that meeting. But I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I have a God of my own understanding. And whether that was the eagle, then it evolved into Harold, because he was my boyfriend for a while. Our Father who art in heaven, Harold be his name. And Eileen, I think her name was, or Irene, I don't know. She's like from over by Bob Marley, Jamaica. She was at a speaker at, I think, Seaside. That's where I got Harold from. So I borrowed her Harold for a while. Because, before that, I always thought the boyfriend would fix me. But life happens, and no matter what, that one little relapse taught me is that nothing comes in front of my sobriety. If I'm sober, everything else is going to flow right along with it. It's been a crazy few years. Let's say the last 5 or 7 years. I don't know. I've been doing it for a while. My mother has been diagnosed in 2013 with Alzheimer's. She is now 94 and still going. Occasionally I'm Carol, and sometimes I'm Judy or Nancy, and I have no idea who those are. And then sometimes I'm Mama. My sister was the in-home nurse. I don't know how I got this job to be the lucky one, staying home with Mama. And I pay a caregiver for my sometimes that I definitely need for a break of sanity, right? Not only to go to meetings, to play volleyball with friends and have a balance, find that balance in life, right? To get some, and I got to keep my triangle balance. Unity, service, and recovery, all of that has to be done. I just got a new home group, a new purpose group, and I'm a chip chick. So if y'all want to get a hug and a chip, that's my new position. It's all that was left. What can I say? But I took it because my sponsor said I need a service position. So anyway, I've been taking care of my parents for a while, and I think, God, I took my parents. My mom, they used to call her the bounty hunter. She would go around to crack houses and wherever else trying to find me. Motels, I'm like, how in the world? I told them to say that, I wasn't here. And I'm over 18, pretty sure 40 some years old. You're not supposed to be coming in here. But anyway, she would find me all the time. And so I think, God, how many years did I really cause her those troubles? And now I'm taking care of her. I'm doing that living amends, paying it back. But are we kind of even now? I mean, how long is it? Because I feel like I've been doing it a really long time, and it gets worse. It gets worse, and things change. She's lost a couple teeth. You can't take her to the dentist. She's unwilling to do that kind of stuff. But we work through it and we find our ways. In the meantime, I may have some tears. April 14th, 2022. My daughter, who's 29 and had done drugs with her father, and her father OD'd on fentanyl in 21 of October. They were buddies, but they also used to steal from me. Hence, I was still willing. So my sponsor said, go to Al-Anon. Woo! So I willingly went to Al-Anon, which I now love. It took a while to change that frame of mind of thinking that they were, all bashing the AA people, which was me. So after stealing checks and not wanting to get sober herself, you gotta go. You can't live with me. And she's 28 at the time when she was homeless, walking around. And I remember the last time I let her out of my car, and she didn't ask for money. It was the first time I think she didn't ask for money. And I got her something to eat, but it was raining and it was downtown Renton. And I said, I love you. And she said, I love you too. And the very next day I got a phone call where some man decided to lessen the homeless population. And he shot some girl, went home, got an AR-15, and then he shot my daughter. And she got shot in the leg and once in the head. She's alive. She will never. Brain injuries are weird. Traumatic brain injuries are crazy, and especially because hers went right into everything on her right side. The vocal cord, her eye has probably a little vision problems, and right on her right leg. She had to learn all over how to walk again. The craziest thing about this addiction, whether you're addicted to alcohol or any other substance, if you're not surrendering and getting some new program, and taking that acceptance of a program, I mean, what does it take, I think to myself, because the other gal that got shot, she's in jail. Her mom said she's still doing drugs. And I think, well, I don't think, my daughter in a nursing home, that before she actually got into this adult family home, somebody brought her heroin and they found her unresponsive on the ground in the nursing home, because she'll never probably be able to do a program of recovery. I don't think she can comprehend steps, you know what I mean? No matter how much I want it. So in my Al-Anon group, I get to totally practice that detachment with love and love her as she is. And that is the toughest thing ever but like Stephen Blair was saying, you know what? If you're in this program and you're in the middle of it, you can get through anything. It's painful, really painful. That I know, well, she doesn't ever get to have kids. She can't get married. I'm her legal guardian. The doctor says she cannot make decisions. I get that now. It's still taking me a while, because if you take her for a coffee, which she'll hobble on out with her little arm, and she holds her hand funny and she flips her little leg. But she's no way using a walker. She has one, but she's not using that. And she can't decide. She'll tell me she wants a caramel, and then she goes back to the chocolate, and back and forth and back and forth. I have to make those decisions for her now. She can't decide a strawberry or blueberry, or whether she wants to wear a long sleeve or short sleeve, just these simple little decisions. And that is still some of the hardest thing for me to do. See and watch. When this happened, because I was in it, because I have so many friends in the AA program and the Al-Anon program, I was able to pick up the phone. And, people ask, how are you doing? At that particular time, I don't know. I'm pissed, I'm angry, I'm sad, all of the above, confused. I want to go to the court the next time when this guy's tried to get out. They did catch him. It took him a year and a little longer, where they have all the evidence on him. And the thing is that he has no priors of anything ever with the police, which both two detectives said that's exact making of a sociopath. That's why he shouldn't be let out. They have some pretty solid evidence with him, but I just want to ask the judge, can I just sock him once? Can I just give him one good sock? Oh my God. But I mean, that's not going to help anything, right? I have here, the whole program has to go into effect all over again, and I have to get into acceptance. And it's so funny how God works in my life, because it is my God now, of my understanding that I was able to develop with steps 1, surrendering, step 2, and I'm coming to believe that, hey, there is something bigger than me out there, and I don't need to be running my life. I'm going to take another step 3 and be willing to let him be in charge, no matter what happens. And obviously, I've been given some serious issues in life to deal with. But no matter what happens, I don't have to drink. I have a program of recovery, and I have the people in this program are the best friends that I could have ever asked for. They're trustworthy. And I mean, I think I had 2 weeks worth of meals that were coming down to my parents' house. And I'm talking like some turkey chili that had zucchini, and not only did they bring that, they brought the cornbread and the cheese and the fixings to go on the side with all of it. While, somebody might be sitting with my parents while I go see my daughter in the ICU or the rehab center, And so it was, I was held up and carried through the roughest times for me to go through and be able to do it all sober. So when there says there's a solution, that means it's not a middle of the road solution. It's get in it, get a sponsor, do each step one at a time, find somebody that's done it. And good things happen. Good things happen, bad things happen, life happens. But as long as you are in this program and you're willing to do the work and accept those kind of things that happen in life, our watch is saying it's time to stand. Stupid watch. Stupid watch. Stupid watch. I am standing. Anyhow, I am so grateful to say that I have been sober since 11/08, and that I have a host of friends that have held me up through a lot of rough times. And there'll be more to come, because my parents, 92 and 94, well, that time is coming too. I appreciate you guys asking me to speak, and that's all I have. I think there's a couple extra minutes left, but thank you.